anyways. And you're coming in, and I ended up anyways. You're still in college?
No.
Yeah, no. Had you had just usually don't just know you because had you been playing poker?
Since February.
Yeah. And you play
Mainly online cash games. Yeah.
You heard live play?
I just heard about it yesterday, actually.
Because we do a show, we're like a high stakes GSM, where we do cash games.
That's where I started out, yeah.
And high stakes celebration is the idea from us.
Oh, really? I actually got in contact with the high stakes guy, and he said he'd see about getting me on. So yeah, I'd love to do the live at the bikes. It was Eric Drake.
Are you playing today?
Yes.
Because we have a 5,100 no limit game tonight that we're doing here. If you're out or if you're getting out, I don't know if you're going someplace, but
Actually, I'm in town till the 31st, so yeah.
I'd like to take your number down.
Okay.
It's going to be, because we've got a lot of big people that want to get into that game. Let's see if we can work something out.
Okay.
All right. He didn't jump the gun, Evelyn. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my fault. Sorry. Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, hold on. Fuck. Here, it's Dave.
I
You
should
take it.
silence mine.
You take it.
All right.
Okay. Hey everyone, we are here with Paul Wasicka, and the second place winner of, or the second, let's do, just go ahead. Sorry.
Wasicka.
Wasicka. I knew I mispronounced your name too.
That's okay.
Hey everybody, we're here with Paul Wasicka, second place finisher in this year's main event, $6.1 million. You know, there's all this discussion about Jamie Golden when you win all this big money. And I don't mean to get too personal, but the first thing that jumps up in my head is, were you backed by anybody, or did you do it the right way? Get it all yourself.
I had heard stories about all these people having to give percentages and all that going into, you know, the live tournament circuit, and I told myself I'd never do that because I just couldn't I couldn't give away too much of a percentage. So I do have two other friends that we swapped 5% of each other. And I gave 5% to my parents, another percent to charity. But no, I bought into the event.
Wow. So 5%, that's like $300,000, right?
Yeah. It changed not only my life, but some other people's lives as well.
Lives too. Now, I talked to you a little bit before we were doing the interview that explaining to you about how Live at the Bike is all about no-limit cash games, and you had said that you had been playing full-time since February, online no-limit cash games.
Yeah, that was my job.
And what kind of levels did you play there?
Mainly 1020, some 2550.
So the 2000 game and say the 5000 game on what? Full tilt, UB, party?
Party.
Yeah, on party. And, you know, those games, you know, you get all those crazy guys that multi-table. We have a lot of those guys that watch the show, you know, six-handed, you know, they're playing, you know, 6 to 8 tables at a time of 6 max, 2000, no limit. The swings can get pretty big, can't they?
Definitely. I would say my swings were anywhere from 6 to 10,000 a day. I'd play, you know, anywhere from 4 to, you know, 10 hours. I play a lot less than a lot of those guys, but, you know, I do the 6 max tables, and usually 4 at a time, 5 at a time, something like that.
And you put in, what, 25, 30 hours a week?
Something like that. I don't play nearly as much as some of the other guys, but, you know, 6 max, that's definitely my game. I never play ring games. I just love the action and all that, so.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I watched the pay-per-view, and everyone will see in a few weeks about the final hand against Jamie Gold. You had pocket tens, and he had ended up, there was a queen on board.
Queen 9.
And he basically, you bet, you were the pre-flop raiser, he moved in, and you really thought he was on a draw. Tell us a little bit about what you were thinking there on that hand.
At that point, math played the biggest decision. He did convince me that he had a draw on based on his mannerisms, going all in, standing up, you know, all that. But I mean, I already had $3 million invested in the pot, and it was a little more than $6 million to call, I believe.
Yeah.
And you know, it was second pair. I had second pair beat even, and I thought he could, based on his range of hands, I thought he could have a straight draw, a flush draw, middle pair, mean, so many hands, and with $3 million already in the pot is kind of really hard for me to fold.
Right, your heads up, obviously, so
heads
over
up, yeah.
second pair, it's a big hand. Now, the biggest question, though, and I think the most intriguing hand is the one that we supposedly saw you fold. And there's a lot of speculation as to, did you really have the hand that you said you had? And I will, for anybody that wasn't familiar or didn't see the main event, basically, the flop had come out, I believe, 10. Was it 10?
6-5.
10-6-5
with the 6-5 of spades.
With the 6-5 of spades. The guy in the middle, who finished in third place, bet out with ace-10. Jamie raised him with an open-ended straight draw. And you stood up and said, this is absolutely sick, and folded, and you said you had 7-8 of spades.
After he called.
After he called. Is that true?
Yes.
Really?
I did, yes.
Now, that is amazing, because people are saying, well, you must have made that fold taking into consideration the prize money, the opportune prize money into second place. How do you make that fold if you want to go on and win? I mean, that's what people have been saying.
Right. The prize money obviously played a factor, $2 million prize jump. But the biggest factor, as I was telling Rich before, is what I put Jamie on. I thought Jamie had a higher flush draw. Possibly the 10 jack of spades, the 10-9 of spades, queen 10 of spades. I mean, he was limping with so many hands on the button, and the way he went all in immediately after Binger made that bet, it just knew. I was so certain that he had a draw, and I don't think he has a lower draw.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I thought Binger was going to fold if I called, because Binger would have still had $6.5 million, I believe, after that hand, and if he folds and I lose, I mean, that's just devastating, especially if I'm up against what I thought he had.
Well,
it is important to note, if I was 100% certain Binger would call, then I would have called, obviously, because I would have, been
that is definitely your side of the story, and it's right to bring that out, because I haven't really heard anybody say or take that into consideration to defend you that, hey, wait a minute, what if he thinks that Jamie has a higher flush draw? Then he's really, really dead. Now, the real issue, though, is, do you think Binger would have overcalled with ace-10? Remember, you're playing three-handed. You think he would have folded?
I think he would have folded. Because he knows that I'm not going to call all in without a huge, huge hand.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that he would overcall, I mean, he'd have to beat out two hands, and if he doesn't, then he gets third.
Yeah.
Right? So he's up not against me, but against both of us, and he's going to have to survive both of us in order to increase his pay jump. So I think it's an easy fold for him if I call. Just
because of the amount of money, to say $3 million to fold the hand, basically.
Well, not only that, but I mean, how could just a pair of tens be good? When there's an all-in and an overcall all-in. So.
What was your plan, though, on that hand? Were you going to?
My plan, easy check raise all-in.
Yeah.
I thought Binger had about 10 million stacks after the pre-flop raise, and there was about a little less than 5 million in the pot. I thought he was going to bet 3 or 4 million. I'd played with him 4 days in a row, and I thought I knew his play. I didn't think he'd go all in.
Yeah.
I thought he'd try to get some value, and then I thought, I had some bluff equity if I just check raise all in. I have looked at some of the forums, and some people thought it might have been just wise to just bet out all in, because obviously I'm not going to bet out and then fold to an all in, so I might as well just go all in with 5 million in the pot. And in retrospect, given the hands and given the way the hand went, that would have been the best play. But I couldn't really expect Jamie to just go all in like that. So.
And how do you think that Jamie ended up playing, anyways? Overall,
to tell you the truth, I have to be perfectly honest. I thought that going into the final day, I was extremely confident, and that was another factor that went into that decision, by the way. I thought no matter what kind of chip lead he had, I was still confident I could take him down with the way the blind structure was. I thought I had plenty of chips to work with, and that also factored in the hand. But the final table, he played awesome. He really did step up his game, and I commend him for that. Leading up to the final table, I played with him a few different times, and I wasn't that impressed with his play. But to hold the chip lead 4 days or 5 days or whatever it was, I mean, it's no easy task. So.
Well, Paul, I really appreciate you coming in, and good luck with everything. I don't know if you've been signed for sponsorship deals, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot of you in the upcoming weeks on ESPN. And again, thanks for coming on Live with the Bike.
Thank you so much.
And we are here with Dan Harrington. First experience we've had with Dan Harrington in almost a year and a half here at Live the Bike. It's a real pleasure for you to come on and give us a couple of minutes. One of the most impressive tournament runs over the last 2 years when you made 2 back-to-back final tables with very, very large fields. The author of several volumes of Harrington on Hold'em. Do you really think that the game theory that you have a lot of experience with helps your poker, it helps your tournament play and helped you write some of those books?
Actually, in writing the books, I learned a lot. I had access to that information mentally, as a lot of good players do. But the thing is, you don't prioritize it. And sometimes when you get to the situation, your thinking becomes confused and muddled, and you start thinking, well, this is important or that's important. And it's sort of a random type thing. In writing the book, I began to prioritize things in order, and it just made me a stronger player. And other strong players have come up to me and said the same thing to me. They said, we knew all this stuff, but we didn't have it ordered correctly, or if we thought about it, we would have it ordered correctly. Once you laid it out for us, it made our thinking a lot clearer also in these situations.
Now, I asked a couple of people about this as well. Now, you had a lot of success in those larger fields with the 2003, 2004 back-to-back final table years. And Greg Mueller has had a lot of success with fields of, say, over 1,000. Are there any strategical differences between a field that's, say, 400 or 500, between a field that's, say, 4,000 or 5,000?
Well, besides having a lot of extra players, I would say it becomes a lot like a chess game. It's a game within a game. There's a pace to the whole thing, and you have to pace yourself. And there come key moments during the whole contest where for good or ill that you have to make a stand, and it may be a hand that you're not crazy about making the stand with, but the situations come up, and you have to do it if you want to be in a good position in the tournament. And if you don't make that stand, you're still live in the tournament, but that's all you can be said about your situation.
Now, I remember listening to an interview or reading something that you had written about how in 2003 and 2004, you basically took planned mental breaks while you were playing in the tournament, meaning you intentionally did not pay attention at certain points of the tournament to kind of give yourself a mental rest. Do you think that that is important when you talk about pacing, to find those areas when you're not 100%, say, focusing on the game just because it would just be kind of a brain overload to do that for 5 days straight?
Absolutely. I found it's really important to pace yourself and save yourself for the end of the day, because the end of the day is when the blinds and antes are going to be at their highest, and you're making your biggest decisions. And if you expended all your energy getting to that point, which sometimes you just simply have to just to survive, but if you expended your energy to get to that point, you have nothing left when you're making the key decisions.
And the other thing that you once said too before is that you would not be surprised if in some of these long events the younger guys have the biggest edge, and the final table would be basically all young guys, and we really saw it almost this year, didn't we?
Absolutely. I just can't explain to you how important it is to have energy at the end. I remember Moneymaker, myself, and Sam Faha. I was just totally wasted. I saw Sam Faha sleeping on the other side of the table, and I looked over at Moneymaker, and he's bouncing up and down like this is the greatest moment of his life. This is great. And Sam Faha and myself, we just want to go to bed and go to sleep.
Of course, great here, Dan Harrington. Now, you play and you kind of travel the tournament circuit a lot and play in a lot of the bigger buy-in tournaments. Now, Live at the Bike is a game about cash games. We don't really hear about you too much in the ring games. Do you get a chance to play in ring games? Tell us a little bit about the history of you playing in ring games on the side.
Early in my career, I was exclusively a ring game player, and I just didn't picture myself ever playing tournaments, but gradually I came over to tournaments, and I mostly play tournaments now. One reason I do is because basically I had retired from poker, and I concentrated on business and anchor loans, and that's been very successful. And then when this came on TV and you had the explosion 3 years ago, I decided to come out of retirement and start playing a lot more tournaments. And I would say once in a great while, once a couple of months I'll play a cash game.
Right, cash game. And, we specialize specifically in no-limit Hold'em cash games. The interesting thing about the history of no-limit Hold'em cash games is, those were games that were played many, many eons ago, way back when, Doyle Brunson and Barry Greenstein's. And then the game kind of died off, as Barry Greenstein had said, some of the weaker players went broke. And now there's really been almost a big reemergence in no-limit cash games, hasn't there been in the last few years?
Absolutely. People want to copy what they see on TV. And no-limit Hold'em cash games are the game now. The reason why the games died out before was because strong players had such a big edge in no-limit Hold'em that the weak players didn't have any positive reinforcement. They simply lost almost all the time. As a consequence, you drove away the people that would play the game. Now you have the influx from people watching on TV, and they've become stronger players from watching it on TV, and they have confidence in what they're supposed to do now. So I expect the side action cash games to exist for quite a while.
Well, Dan Harrington, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on the show. We wish you luck. Good luck today. You're playing today, right?
Yes.
In Legends.
Thank you, Bart, for having me.
All right. And we are here with legendary tournament player, Tony Ma. How's it going? You going to play in the event today?
Yes, I will.
Day 1B.
Yes.
Now, Live at the Bike, we specialize in showing no-limit cash games. Of course, you play in a lot of tournaments, but tell us a little bit about, the ring games, like your ring game history. Do you play in a lot of side games, or do you basically just now specialize in tournaments?
Yeah, I used to play a lot of limit hold'em years back, and these days I try to switch to tournament the most, and occasionally play a live game to make some kind of live money.
Now you basically travel, say, the tournament circuit. About how many tournaments have you played, say, like in the last year?
I travel a lot, but I didn't know how much I played a lot of tournaments last year or so.
Yeah. 100. Would you say you play over 100 tournaments a year?
Yeah, it could be over 100, yes.
Over 100 tournaments a year. And, what does your strategy say, like, when you go in and, say this field is going to be about, I think it was 450 people, and say you played in the main event at the World Series where it was 8,000 people. Does your plan or your strategy change at all for those types of fields?
Yes, in the World Series, actually, they main event they give only 10,000 in chip. Actually, I would play in a solid hand, and hopefully I pick up the hand, and somebody go double me up. And from that point, I just keep going, play a little bit aggressive, pick up some more chip if I could, and hope I get a little bit more luck. So I keep going, and the player go eliminate themselves.
Now, some of the people here are some of the bigger names aren't coming to this event because they have that little lawsuit thing going, and they don't like the WPT, for whatever reason, the antitrust reasons. Do you have an opinion on that? Where do you fall on that? Do you think the WPT has done a lot for poker?
Actually, I don't know any information about it. And I just go play whatever the tournament looking good, and I play.
You're just all about poker, right?
All about poker. I don't know anything about politics.
Well, Tony Ma, thanks a lot for stopping by, and good luck for you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
All right.
We are here with Sean Chakan, high-stakes cash game player and tournament player. How you doing, Sean?
How you doing?
And now you are primarily a cash game player, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah.
I play just the local tournaments in Vegas and drive to LA once in a while.
Right. Now, I remember we actually had you on the show a while ago. I believe you were playing Limit Hold'em with Jerry Buss.
That's right. I think it was like
maybe about a year ago.
A year ago, yeah.
Yeah, and I really noticed that you're a very aggressive player, very insightful, very creative. Now, how do you differ your game when you take it from the cash game play to a tournament like today?
Tournaments, you just can't make too many mistakes, at least big mistakes. You make one big mistake, then you get out of the tournament. So you just try to play mellow and just try to steal small pots or whatever, not get too involved, and just try to stay alive.
Right. Now I think you played on the GSN High Stakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be playing in the next season as well?
Yes, I will be.
You're going to play as well. Do you enjoy that? I mean, do you enjoy showing the hole cards and kind of the banter and everything and being on TV, or is it just really about the money?
I'm starting to get used to the TV thing.
Yeah.
Last year I got a lot of TV coverage, so at first I was kind of nervous being on TV and stuff, but now I'm trying to get a hang of it.
Getting over it. It's kind of funny, obviously most of us poker players, most of the best cash game players, like yourself, obviously really want to remain anonymous.
Yeah.
We don't really want to be in the limelight. We don't want everybody to know how much money we're making.
Or how bad one could play.
Yeah. Or good how we can play, obviously.
Yeah.
Or what kind of moves we're making. And now it's kind of out in the open. I mean, obviously with high-stakes cash games, obviously with Live at the Bike, we do cash games every night. It's really getting out there.
It is. And just the people being able to keep track of the whole cards and the way people play. It's really what's made poker so popular these days, I believe.
Yeah, and it's funny. You see a lot of really, really great cash game players able to make that transition from cash game to tournament game, and you don't see those same tournament great players being able to make the transition to cash game play.
No.
Why is that? Why do you think?
They just play too soft, probably. The tournament players, they don't gamble. They don't know how to gamble. They don't know how to put the money in with the best odds, best draws, or the best hand. They just play slow and just try to, I mean, you got to gamble. If you're going to be a gambler, you got to know how to gamble, win a gamble.
Right. I guess in a cash game, you don't mind taking even the smallest edge because hey, if you get unlucky, you can always reach back in your pocket for more money.
That's true, too. It's always helpful to be able to reach in the pocket and start over again.
I got you. Now you're starting in about, I want to say about 10 minutes or so. You're going to get 20,000 in chips, a lot of play, obviously in the early goings. Any strategy you're going to kind of employ when you sit down?
I'm just going to try to last through the small rounds, the first 5, 6, 7 rounds, because the one problem I got is I risk too much chips when the blinds are too small, and I'm going to wait till blinds go to 3, 6, 4, 800 before I start playing.
Right.
At first, I'm just going to try to play lay low and just try to play with the nuts and big hands or whatever.
Right. Try to figure out the table a little bit. Obviously, in today's age, you don't really know all the players you're playing with.
That's right.
So it's a little more difficult. Well, Sean Chakan, I'm going to let you go.
Thanks for having me.
Great cash game player. Good luck today. Go get him, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Here we are with Greg Mueller, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Greg Mueller, thank you. Now, I actually played with you. I remember playing with you in a satellite last year at the World Series of Poker. And to get into the Mega, now you're kind of like a satellite freak. I mean, in the sense that I remember in 2000, I remember the first year I went down to the World Series in 2004. Last year it was at Binion's. I watched you go, and I think you won because I actually overheard you saying it, 7 one-tables in a row.
Yeah, I used to play a ton of satellites.
I mean, how do you do it? I mean, it's insane. And then I saw you actually last year. I know you had already had your seat, and then you were in the Mega Satellite again.
Are we talking 2005?
Yeah, now 2005.
Yeah.
You had already won your seat.
Right.
And you kept playing the Megas, and you just kept winning them.
Yeah. I mean, now I don't play them anymore. I find them too small. Because I play bigger cash games.
Right, exactly. It's not worth it for you to spend 5 hours to
right,
make $9,000.
and then maybe it's not that, but I might not hit it, and so now I've wasted 6 hours. Then the next one I might not hit. Now I'm going to hit one. So it's just over time, it's not really worth it for me.
Okay.
But back then, they're a great way for money management and to take small shots to getting into tournaments.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I'm in. Well, what am I going to do? Well, I'll play and make some more money. And yeah,
I was actually going to ask you. I was when you win all those satellites and you get all those chips, do you sell them? Or, you obviously play in some of the bigger tournaments, but do you end up selling some of those chips?
Oh yeah,
make some cash?
Yeah, for sure. It's like instead of playing in the cash games, you all of a sudden, if you're doing well, you start playing another one, and next thing you know, wow, it's a way to make money.
Right, exactly. Now I know you're from Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I know I actually played with you also at the other casino. We don't like to say the name, but it's the C word. But I played with you over there actually a while ago, and you kind of enlightened me. I wasn't a professional poker player at the time. This was probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I remember playing in I want to say a 30-60 Hold'em game or a 20-40 Hold'em game. And you guys had moved over with a bunch of guys because I guess the bigger game had broken. And you sat down, and it was really late at night. And you were talking about getting position on a player. And I was like, and you even said, you have nothing to do with, I don't care about lucky seats.
Right.
And it kind of enlightened me because I wasn't really much of a player at the time. And I was like, I wonder why he wants position. You want to talk about that in the sense of getting position on a player?
Well, in certain games there might be nobody that's a factor except for one guy.
Right.
And he's just calling a lot of it's more important now that I've been playing mostly no limit cash games. And so back then obviously 30-60 or 40-80 would have been a limit game.
Right.
But now it's a lot more important in no limit when guys are calling a lot of your raises or re-raising you, and you have position on a guy. It's huge because let's say we both miss the flop, and I check and now he bets pot size bet. I can't call. Whereas if I have position and he checks to me and I bet, now he has to really be strong about making a play. If he wants to check raise me, because it's going to cost him a pot plus another pot, which is huge. And if he's wrong, he's losing a bunch of chips. So usually he'll check, I'll bet, he'll just give up.
It's funny. A lot of times you hear how you want to be to the left of a tough player, but at the same time, it's weird. I remember Barry Greenstein was talking about this, where he said that he actually wanted to be to the right of a tough player at one point because he wanted to be the first raiser, really putting heat on the guy to the left, where he would have to re-raise if he had a big hand.
Well, it's like that in tournaments, I think, a lot.
Okay.
Because you only get a certain amount of chips in a tournament, and when the first guy raises, now if you want to make a move on a guy and you're wrong, you don't have too many opportunities to be wrong because you only have a certain amount of chips and you can't rebuy.
Okay.
In the cash game, I think it's better to sit on the left because if I repop you and you repop me, I just fold and I'm low now. I can keep topping up.
Right.
So it's a little different. I prefer to sit on the left. If you're more of a trapper, sitting on the right, it's not bad. You can kind of limp with some big hands or, and get guys to repop you. But I like to be pretty active, and so I like to have position on the tougher or bigger stack players.
Right, exactly. I see what you mean. Now, just out of curiosity, now you're going to get 20,000 chips today, a lot of chips to play with.
Yeah.
Any strategies going into the tournament?
I'm going to take a lot of flops, see a lot of hands early on.
Let your opponents make mistakes.
Yeah, try to. If somebody wants to play aces or kings real slow, and I have a 4 or 5 of clubs or something, and maybe flop 2 pair or straight or something.
One of my favorite hands, 4 or 5 suited. I love that hand.
Okay, you know what? I'll say even 5-8 of diamonds.
You never know, right?
Try and flop the nuts against a guy that limp with kings, and now he's going to lose his stack.
Yeah, can't get away from trips. The
problem is, this event there won't be. I don't think that many bad players. Just playing the World Series of Poker in the main event. 9,000 players. At my table, I recognized one face, and the other 8 I had never seen.
I was actually going to say, I didn't think that this tournament, as it's a great tournament. Obviously, the bike puts on a good show, but at the same time, it's not probably a great value because you don't have that much dead money in there.
No, I'll have I'll probably have 4 or 5 real good players, and I'll know another 3 probably. I mean, there might be one player that I don't really know or something, which just, doesn't mean that it's
he could be a great internet player.
For sure. But it'll be a tougher caliber field, which means you won't be able to just run the show.
Now, speaking of internet play, obviously you're from Vancouver. You play mostly internet up in Vancouver, and then obviously travel around the circuit a little bit.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Well, cool, man. I'm a big hockey player. Love Canada. Love Vancouver, man. So I'm wishing you the best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Live at the bike. Go get him.
Thank you.
Just putting my phone away. All right.
And here we are with another guest, my co-commentator's favorite player, Evelyn Ng. That's why I'm doing the interview here. Evelyn, you really made a name for yourself here a couple years ago at the Bikes ladies event in 2003. You were part of the PokerStars team. Are you no longer with them now?
No, I was with PokerStars for a year, and my contract ended up with them in March, and now I am with Bodog.
Now you're with Bodog.
Yeah.
Now you continue to travel around the WPT, basically the circuit. You play in all the tournaments. Now, Live the Bike is a game about basically cash games, usually no-limit cash games. And I remember when you came onto the scene, you were a pro. You were a ring game player. So tell us about the history of you playing on the side. Do you still play on the side for the majority of the money that you make for a living?
Pretty much the first 10 years of my poker career, I was a limit cash game player, not very exciting, not very illustrious. I was like a mid-limit cash game player.
40-80, something like that?
Yeah, between 10-20 and, say, 40-80.
Yeah.
And I guess now, like, I really love No Limit Hold'em now, and I love playing tournaments, and it kind of takes away the fun, I guess, of playing live cash games, which I've done for so long. So now I don't really get that much time to play live, nor do I really want to.
So you're not really playing in the ring games that much anymore?
No, not really. I mean, I love No Limit tournaments. I love main events.
Now, the funny thing is that, you really are probably one of the most recognized faces in poker. You still have people come up to you in the street, or if you're in the mall. You're one of those Canadians, right? Too, aren't you?
Yes, I'm another Canadian.
Yeah. You and Gavin Smith and Negrano. Now you and Negrano
and Full Bone Tilt FPT, who you just had on.
Yeah. No, you and Negrano grew up together, didn't you? Almost like in the same town.
Pretty much,
like
yeah. We were pretty much neighbors growing up.
And did you play poker through
We
together,
met through playing pool.
Yeah.
And then we dated actually when I was 16. And then we went our separate ways, and we both got into poker independently.
Yeah.
And then we're reunited through poker. Now, you and him are still pretty close friends. You guys had to play in the heads-up match this year, which was kind of interesting. Yeah.
As a random draw, right?
Yeah, it was. Actually, I was happy that I got to play Daniel, because if I got somebody who I didn't like, then it might have been more, it gets emotional for me if I lost. But I want to see him win as well.
Now, you guys still talk strategy and stuff with each other, and you bounce stuff off of him, or is
it's
it
not
just...
that easy to get time to talk strategy with Daniel Negrano.
Really?
He's a busy guy. Yeah.
Really? So you pick your spots here and there if you have dinner with him, stuff like that type of thing. It's just... Now, one last question, because I know you got to go. The tournament's actually started a couple minutes ago. I mean, you really have, taken poker marketing to a new extent, because you finished basically second in the ladies event, and then you had a couple other high level finishes, but you get yourself on Stacked. You were sponsored. I mean, how did
I would
you
like
end
to
up
say
doing
that
this?
I'm this marketing genius, but I'm really not. I mean, pretty much, like, I just play poker. I didn't get into poker to be on TV. When I started playing poker, it was very fringe and unaccepted. And now, opportunities came my way, and I'm not going to turn away from them.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for taking the time, and good luck to you today.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. Evelyn Ng, first time on the show, and we'll be back.
Bye.
Welcome to Card Players The Circuit, hosted by your favorite set, Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Seabach.
That's right, everyone. You are listening to Card Players The Circuit. We are broadcasting on cardplayer.com and on the iTunes Music Store as a podcast. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Seabach with guest host tonight, Bart Hansen from Live at the Bike.
Wow. Hello. You guys are on my home turf here at the bike.
That's true. That's right. He actually just stole the microphone away and just jumped in.
I just came right in here, right in between.
Is there any way we can get him to leave yet?
Actually, I believe he sought legal action and got a court order that we had to allow him to be part of our show. In order to
I heard something about that.
You guys.
Actually, I thought I got 50% of your winnings from Legends here, Gavin. I'm gonna.
Gavin, it's not that he actually has a shiv that he's holding to my stomach underneath the table. So it's my life if we do anything.
Stick him, Bart.
Well,
Stick him.
Hopefully Bart can add something to the show tonight. We are here at the Bicycle Casino. It is the 2006 Legends of Poker main event. Now a $10,000 buy-in event. We have a great show for everybody today. We have some hand of the day, phone calls, poker talk with Big G and the Baby Kangaroo. And I guess we need to come up with a nickname for Bart to go with that as well, because it's going to be poker talk with Big G, the Baby Kangaroo, and
Douche.
Well, we could call him.
Douche?
No,
That's original.
What we could
Poker
call
talk
him.
with Big G, the Baby Kangaroo, and the Douche.
wow, that's horrible.
I think we could call
That's not
Bart.
even right.
I think we could call Bart guy who got his ass kicked by Big G and the Baby Kangaroo.
Yet to be determined.
Hasn't happened yet.
Yet
But
to be determined, Gavin.
That's right. In case
It's just a
anyone,
matter of time.
But it will.
It's just a matter
obviously
of time.
none of our listeners know yet because we've had a bit of a hiatus. But there is going to be a series of heads-up matches between the Live at the Bike kids and the circuit crew, and that I believe you guys are going to try to do it round robin style. Is that
Yeah,
right?
we're going to try to do it.
Matches?
We're going to try to do it round robin style. We're going to stream it on our show, and hopefully, I think we're actually going to make it available to everyone because, of course, now we are on a subscription service, but we will open that up to everyone, so all the circuit watchers.
Hell yeah! Maybe we can get a link. Maybe we can get a link at Card Player for that one.
Yeah.
It would be very nice to do that, and hopefully, I hope they just mop the floor with you guys because it's really gonna. We're gonna lose some. We're gonna lose some listeners if you guys lose to Live at the Bike guys. They made us all
but here's the
transfer
thing:
over.
we need to have some kind of bounty. I mean, the losers are going to have to pay a penalty, not necessarily in money. We should come up with something they have to do.
Maybe they should dress up as a bear in a tiger.
Yeah,
that's been
original.
Done. That's been done. and also, I would never do anything that unbelievably painful to someone. I mean, I just wouldn't feel comfortable hurting someone.
Whatever happened to good old fashioned money.
Exactly. I couldn't do it to
Hey,
someone.
by the way, Scott, I want to apologize to all the listeners that didn't know that we were joking when we said we were all done.
Oh, about the last show?
Yeah, so hey guys, sorry if you didn't know we were joking, but hey.
Sorry if you did not know we were joking. That was not our last show.
It was funny as shit, though.
It was not our last show, but this one is actually. I'm sorry to announce that the circuit has been canceled, and we won't be coming back on. So this is the last show ever yet again. Like I said, we are here at the Legends of Poker, and our defending champion is in attendance. Started today. Alex Kahaner won last year's Legends of Poker, $1,150,900. 234 entrants started today. Including our chip leader right now, Tuan Lee, who has 80,000.
That's all that started today was 234?
That is correct, but I believe they're still taking registration. So if you're listening to this right now, you have like 5 minutes probably to get down.
Wow.
Here.
so it's looking like there's only maybe tops 500 people?
500 or so.
And there was 800.
500 but last year there was 800 at 5,000, so this year you'll have 500 at 10,000. You'll actually have a bigger prize pool.
Right.
So all things are good.
I'm at not all things.
You would rather play against more players for less money than play against less players for more money?
I don't care about that, but one of us might have made a really bad over-under bet on the number.
Oh, I think wait a minute. I made a good under-over. What was the
go.
total? What's the official total, Scott?
I don't think we have.
It looks like it's going to be slightly under 500. Is what it looks like it's
that's $500 in my pocket.
You
Anybody
took
know
the
the
under on
show?
5?
I bet Corporation Mike on the under, and I think I won it because I got it was the word that was 452. Like right around 5 o'clock.
It's going to be about that, yeah.
I got robbed. I don't even think I'm going to pay. I got robbed so bad.
You love to challenge. What did you say? You love to challenge people in games of skill when you're completely obliterated or something like that?
I forgot that the buy-in doubled this year. So, I mean, I'm like, okay.
That's got to affect
me. You made your under-over estimate based on a $5,000 buy-in? That's a great bet, Gavin.
Gavin doesn't always think
it wasn't
things
necessarily
through
based on the 5,000. It was
them.
just based on the same buy-in as last year. I don't even remember.
You know what it was really based on? It was based on the amount of shots that you had prior to making that bet.
I was
really what it was
drunk when I made the bet.
What a surprise.
Let me round out our top five here. Tim Fan, who made the final table last year, actually finished fourth. He has 49,500 chips right now. Brandon Cantu, recently minted bracelet winner from an early event at the World Series of Poker, has 44,500. Hassan Habib
Son Hobby.
43,500, and Scotty Wynn, 42,500.
Where'd he go?
Who, Scotty?
Where'd he go?
What I wanted to actually, can I ask you guys about this? Do you prefer the $10,000 buy-in this year to the $5,000? Joe, are you happy to see this? Was your first real jump onto the WPT last year?
No, actually,
you didn't?
It's not true. I didn't begin playing the bigger events for still a couple months, so I didn't play in this event.
So Gavin, do you like the jump to 10,000 from 5,000? Eric Lindgren told me earlier he doesn't think that there's any point in even having 5,000.
I don't like five. I don't think that you should be allowed to have a World Poker Tour event be $5,000 buy-in.
You didn't think it was special though that it was the biggest field? That's how we
Reno
felt here
got
at the
with
bike,
5,000 as well.
Was it the biggest field? I don't think it was. It wasn't Foxwoods.
No, it had over 800 people in it.
So did Foxwoods at 10,000.
I think Foxwoods had the bigger field.
Nick Shorman won $2.1 million.
Well, hold on. Let's go ahead and backtrack. Gav, why do you feel like there shouldn't be allowed to have 5,000?
I think that basically what we're trying to build here is like a professional poker tour that is like, you know, the pinnacle of the poker world. And I think that to do that, all buy-ins should be, all tournaments should be 10,000 or above buy-ins. And, you know, where everyone's going to have like a deep stack. I like the idea of every single World Poker Tour event having a double stack to start. And I like it all starting at 10,000 buy-ins or above. And, you know, I think that's when you're going to get your absolute best competition and your best product.
Very valid. Well said.
Bart, how do you feel about this? Did you play last year?
I actually didn't play last year, and if it was 5,000 this year, I would have played.
Oh, but
I'm not going to fork down 10,000. I tried playing a couple satellites. I have other responsibilities with the show, so it's the same thing in the World Series. I'm not going to be 100% guys who can just multitask and do the circuit and play every single WPT event. I just like...
We're good.
I know. C-Block, I can't compete, man. Not just in poker.
We just both
in life.
In life.
We just both have ADD, and
I think that should totally be our
multiple
motto.
things.
The circuit. We'll kick your ass in poker and in life.
And in life, that's correct. Well, speaking of circuit slogans, don't hunt what you can't kill. Harry Demetriou has been eliminated
it's
again
amazing how much he
one.
sucks that he can't even last like 20 minutes in any tournament he plays in.
Wow, that's pretty mean.
Come on, are you joking?
He did rip him apart. Come on now.
He ripped me open.
Joe has at least a year's worth of amnesty.
Okay, can I say one thing, though?
Kidding.
Harry Demetriou, what he said was, in a two-horse race, Joe, you would come 17th.
Correct.
And then what happened?
I came second.
He came second in a two-horse
Not
race.
17th in a two-horse race.
All Harry said to him is, Joe, you have no chance of winning, and Joe didn't win. So maybe Harry was right. Maybe
Harry was
right.
clearly incorrect.
And then he almost publicly apologized for ripping you apart, too.
Yeah,
so maybe you should take back what you just said.
Well, he was clearly wrong because
maybe it is you who
was
shouldn't hunt,
race.
which you can't kill. Perhaps.
Yeah. Believe me, I could kill Harry Demetriou's slow ass any day of the week.
Harry
Demetriou.
Are you kidding? I would take him out Predator style.
Do you know what's funny is that Seawalk really thinks that he's like tough. He's always challenging people to these like good old fashioned rows. You just get
dude, I'll beat your ass right here on the air.
That'll happen.
On the air,
Casey Castle has also been eliminated.
Tomorrow night, live from the circuit.
Live at the bike. Live at the bike. UFC 12.
There you go.
So Casey Castle, Joe Awada also eliminated. I wanted to ask you guys about this. It's day 1A and day 1B here, and you guys are both playing tomorrow, which means you have to play till probably 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you're going right into day 2. Do you guys prefer to get into a groove, or would you prefer to have started and had a day to rest? I mean, which one? Does it matter at all?
I would actually prefer to have the day of rest, personally. I'd rather play today if I could. But I don't think... I mean, we play enough and enough back to back to back that you do kind of get used to it. But it's always nice to have a break.
Are they going to continue the 2 o'clock starts?
They are.
Oh, then it makes
except for final table.
Then I got no problem with that.
It's not too bad.
You play till 1, you don't have to play till 2 the next day. That's plenty of time to get a good night's sleep. It's no big deal.
Or in your case, a few drinks in.
Yeah. Well, no, not here because California they close down at 2 o'clock. So I mean, what am I going to do?
That gives you an hour, dude. You can drink a lot in an hour, Gavin. Don't bullshit me.
Have 2 or 3 drinks, then that's not going to happen.
I got some stuff in the booth back there, Gavin. You know, after 2 a.m. I've gone back there before.
But actually, though, Scott, in terms of this particular tournament, I actually chose day 2.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to choose?
Well, I got to choose only because I'm hosting the memorial tournament for Paul Hannum, and so I thought it would be better if I played day 2, and I came in this today and made an announcement at the start of the day that we were doing the tournament, that people could buy tickets from me, or that they could go on www.babyhannum.com and donate.
And if I'm not mistaken, Live at the Bike is streaming the final table of that event.
Live!
I love how he was sitting back in his chair, then all of a sudden he popped up. He's like, if I'm not mistaken, there's something to say about Live at the Bike now.
To be honest with you, I think that's actually really, really cool that you're doing that too, Bart. Because
Me too.
I mean, I think that makes more people want to do it because they might get on this live telecast, and I think that's really cool, and I think that's going to help us raise a little more money for Sarah and the baby.
Absolutely. And I need to buy my buy-in from you soon.
You the man.
You the man. All right. Well, the Legends of Poker has produced some legends from 90. I have the winners from 98 on. I'm just going to read them down, and I have kind of something funny in here too. Al Stoneham won in 98 when it was a $2,000 buy-in event. 99 was Kevin Song. 2000 Lane Flack. Come on the circuit, win the Legends of Poker 6 years ago. James Hepner was 2001. Chris Karagulian 02. Now this is great. 2003 was Mel Silver Fox Judah. Does anyone call him that? I saw that on the Hendon Mob database.
Nickname Silver Fox.
Silver Fox. Mel Silver Fox Judah. I mean, I guarantee he's been running away from that one.
What's up, Silver Fox? Nice hand, Silver Fox.
Yeah, exactly. 2004 Doyle Brunson, and as I said, 05. Alex Kahaner.
The one that Chris Karagulian won too. That was a really entertaining episode. I don't remember that was Mark Safe's first ever episode on the World Poker Tour when Han Lee just totally just crushed him like a bug, and Mark Safe has made a career out of the fact that Han Lee pissed him off.
Really?
I
have to go back into the DVDs.
Great. It was great.
All right. Well, now it's time for some poker news. Poker news. Can it also be Slamastica?
It's Slamastica.
Just like World Series of Poker News
Yeah,
was?
I think we should keep it. I think we
should keep it. All right, Poker News.
I just think it's pretty good, man. I don't think it's Slamastica.
Yeah.
It's pretty
poker
news.
Regular old poker news. It's okay.
It's pretty good. It's not going to blow you away, but it's all right.
So the Jamie Gold saga continues as Crispin Lizer has a $6 million lawsuit, an injunction on the money that Jamie Gold won. It seems like since the World Series of Poker, some things have been leaking out. I read on Defamer that he was not exactly an agent for the people that he said, etc. There's been some weird scuttlebutt going around. This is a fact.
It is unbelievable to me how quickly this guy has gone from the hero of poker to completely reviled in the poker community.
You think he's reviled? I mean, that's kind of
everyone that I speak with dislikes him. Dislikes
it's so
very
funny
much.
because everyone says, "Oh, everyone's going to try to crucify this guy," but they didn't do it to Hashem and Raymer right after they won.
No, of course.
I mean,
not.
this is much different.
Right.
Well, you know what? In kind of a similar way, though, when Greg Raymer won, he had sold himself that he'd been playing for quite some time. And so when he won, he did not own all of himself. He only owned about 55 or 60% of himself.
Right.
And he quickly paid out the people that he owed. Now, if Jamie Gold actually made this arrangement with Christian Lizer and didn't pay it out, then you know what? I think he deserves to be hammered.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Well,
he made a deal. Shit, man, live up to your word.
Let me go down some of the facts of the case, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Because it's not that he necessarily didn't pay him. The way it went down is that Crispin Lizer is suing for 50% of his winnings. The documents were filed on July 1st. Harris retained Gold's $12 million in World Series of Poker winnings for at least another 15 days until September 5, or presumably until the case is settled. Apparently, the two met at this year's World Series, discussed possible projects they could be involved in together, and Gold told Lizer about the fact that Bodog.com was putting him into the main event in exchange for Gold acquiring celebrities to wear Bodog apparel. At that point, apparently, Crispin Lizer claims that Gold suggested he strike his own deal with Bodog. What ended up happening was Lizer went out and they agreed verbally for 50% of the winnings in exchange for him securing actors to be also under the Bodog flag. So he secured the actors Matthew Lillard and Dax Shepard to play for Bodog.
I mean, I could have got him bigger names than that.
We are here with 2003 Legends of Poker. 2002?
Yep.
Okay, we'll start again. We are here with 2002 Legends of Poker champion, Chris Karagulian. How you doing, Chris?
Pretty good. How are you?
I know Chris pretty well. Played with you a bunch of times, actually, in tournaments, some cash games here and there.
You took all my money? You know?
I don't think so. I think you've probably taken more from me. Now, Chris, you really came on when the TVs, you know,
first
the cameras,
event. That was the first event
was
ever. Yeah.
And you were the face of it all.
That's
face
what
of the
made
World
poker
Tour.
famous.
Seriously, I mean, you versus Kathy Liebert. I remember your queens versus Ace King, and you win it. Then you beat Han Lee. You beat the Kamikaze Kid, and you take down the Legends of Poker. How exciting was that for you?
Very exciting, but wasn't enough money, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one thing I'm wondering about is, I mean, at that point, nobody knew where poker was going.
I know. You believe that? It was 157 players at that time.
Yeah, but at that point, I mean, you must have been just like, wow, I'm going to be on TV. Okay, cool, whatever. And now you see it, and you're like, oh, my God, poker has just absolutely exploded.
I guarantee the win.
Yeah, did you?
Did you see the, what,
I didn't
never
know
watched
that.
the interview? Yeah.
I did. I didn't realize that.
And I said, why you're dressed so nice?
I knew I was going to win. Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
I'm going to win it. That's why I came ready.
That's great. Now, I hate to bring up a sore spot. I know you played in this year's Legends, of course. You played yesterday, and unfortunately, you've already been knocked out. What happened?
Just nothing, no luck, no
Didn't
cards.
get the cards?
Yeah, I've been running real dry. At the World Series, too, same thing, nothing.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny now, in today's day and age of poker, I mean, there are so many good Hold'em players out there. You really got to get some cards to win, don't you?
You got to get lucky, yeah. But this is a good tournament here, 20,000 in chips. I think good players have advantages. And still got to get lucky. But you can play, last year what was, 5,000 in chips?
Yeah.
So makes a big difference.
Yeah,
I think good players, they have more advantages here.
Now, who was at your table to start off with yesterday? Any big names at all? No, it's kind of a smaller.
Yeah.
And that's probably a disadvantage for you, obviously, because, I mean, you'd probably rather see a couple of pros that at least you're familiar with and you know their style.
Same thing.
Same difference.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference. You can adapt to their play.
Still got to get lucky.
Still got to get lucky no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, would you consider yourself more of a cash game player or a tournament player?
Cash game.
Cash game. Because, you know, here at Live at the Bike, obviously, we do cash games, no limit cash games, 7 days, 5 days a week.
Beautiful games here, yeah.
So we're always looking that way. Now, when you go from a cash game to a tournament, what kind of adjustments do you make in your game?
Depends. If it's a small tournament, I just play loose and aggressive. If
Try
it's
to
a
gamble
big,
up and get some chips.
Just try to. If it's a big tournament like the 20,000, I just put 6,000-7,000 for gambling and 13,000 serious play and just mix the games.
Right, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
if
your dealer. If you have a good
dealer,
dealer, giving you a lot of cards, you play more, you see more hands.
A good dealer. What would be a good dealer?
A beautiful girl.
A beautiful girl, of course. Okay.
Somebody
like
that smiles and they don't make a lot of mistakes, you know.
Right.
Those are good dealers. There are a lot of good dealers here.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Any advice for any of our aspiring tournament players who maybe want to be on TV one day and win a Legends of Poker?
Well, I don't know. Just be responsible. You know, don't play a lot of tournaments because you're not going to make a lot of money by playing a lot of tournaments. You got to play cash games and try to win your way to the
right. I see what you mean.
Satellites, it's a great way to get in, and that's how I won it. I won a super satellite.
You won a super satellite.
Then just went there and played. That's the mega here was really good. So that's the best way. You know, if you want to play a tournament, just try to get in as cheap as possible.
Well, that's great. That's great. Good advice from 2002 Legends of Poker winner Chris Karagulian. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good luck to you the rest of the year.
Thanks.
Welcome to Card Players The Circuit, hosted by your favorite set, Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Seabach.
That's right, everyone. You are listening to Card Players The Circuit. We are broadcasting on cardplayer.com and on the iTunes Music Store as a podcast. Scott Huff, Gavin Smith, and Joe Seabach with guest host tonight, Bart Hansen from Live at the Bike.
Wow. Hello. You guys are on my home turf here at the bike.
That's true. That's right. He actually just stole the microphone away and just jumped in.
I just came right in here, right in between.
Is there any way we can get him to leave yet?
Actually, I believe he sought legal action and got a court order that we had to allow him to be part of our show. In order to
I heard something about that.
You guys. Actually, I thought I got 50% of your winnings from Legends here, Gavin. I'm gonna.
Gavin, it's not that he actually has a shiv that he's holding to my stomach underneath the table. So it's my life if we do anything.
Stick him, Bart.
Well,
Stick him.
Hopefully, Bart can add something on poker people don't know about, they aren't spoken about.
If you can make that play with a big hand like a set, and you can also make the.
But I've done it to enough people. So
back 9-7 with two clubs,
or to a lesser extent, me.
It will get it, and then we will go to Bart, who I'm just going to call Bart. We never came up with a nickname.
I'm pretty sure I saw Mel in the spaceship.
Because I was in the acting industry for 10 years, or I worked for an agent.
Right.
No one's ever
matter. It went on. And all of a sudden, you're going to have the real journalistic enterprises going after these people, trying to find out where exactly get it. And then we will go to Bart, who I'm just going to call Bart. We never came up with a nickname as far as I'm concerned.
I like the douche.
Let's talk. It's so bad. You don't do that to this. Oh, come on.
Hey, there's Silver Fox. Guys, everyone, there's
Silver Fox.
So, now,
because I was in the acting industry.
He's like, I already had money. I don't need it.
If a person he has only known since July of this year has elected to file litigation rather than continue
point where you got to get business into it.
Yeah, I think $6 million might be that point.
But when you're talking about $6 million,
if that was true, that it would have been standing. He just kind of disappeared for a week, right? How quickly this guy has gone from the hero.
We should keep it. All right, Poker News. James Hepner.
Because they might get on this live telecast, and I think that's really cool, and I think that's going to help us. And Joe didn't win, so maybe Harry was right. Tour that is like.
So Gavin, do you like the jump to 10,000 from 5,000? Eric Lindgren told me, including our chip leader right now, Tuan Lee.
If there's someone's got you covered, it's there, man. I believe he sought legal action and got a court order that we had to allow him to be part of our show. In order to
I heard something about that.
You guys
that as well, because it's going to be Poker Talk with Big G, the Baby Kangaroo, and
Douche.
Well, we could call him.
Douche?
No,
that's original.
What we could
Poker
call
Talk
him.
with Big G, the Baby Kangaroo, and the Douche. Wow, that's we have some hand of the day, phone calls, Poker Talk with Big G and the Baby Kangaroo, and I guess we need to come up with a nickname for Bart to go with that as well, because it's going to be Poker Talk with Big G, the Baby Kangaroo, and
Douche.
Well, we could call him.
Douche? No, that's original.
What we could
Poker
call
Talk
him.
with Big G, the Baby Kangaroo, and the Douche. Wow, that's horrible.
I think we could call
That's not
Bart.
even right.
I think we could call Bart guy who got his ass kicked by Big G and the Baby Kangaroo.
Yet to be determined.
Hasn't happened yet.
Yet to be determined, Gavin.
That's right. In case
it's just a matter of time.
But it will.
It's just a matter
Obviously,
of time.
none of our listeners know yet because we've had a bit of a hiatus. But there is going to be a series of heads-up matches between the Live at the Bike kids and the circuit crew, and that I believe you guys are going to try to do it round robin style. Is that right?
We're going to try to do it.
Matches?
We're going to try to do it round robin style. We're going to agree with that, and it's going to put Tuckman on the spot because I can't speak for him, but he will really seem like the real douche.
Wager for us.
Yeah.
Who comes back into place? That the live
pull the limp re-raise. So it's a spot that people should look out for if you see a straddle pot in a no limit cash game.
I couldn't figure out why I was losing so much money on my straddles, but I just realized that I never raise when I don't have a raising hand.
There you go.
Probably the most pointless straddler in the world.
In a full ring game, it's pretty pointless.
Scott, we've been doing this show for quite a while.
Yep.
What exactly is a non-raising hand?
I don't even know. I can't answer that question.
Because there is no answer. Every hand is a raising hand.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in here, Bart.
Hey,
and
thanks a lot, guys.
wait. Before you go, tell them what you guys decided is going to be the final the stakes for this bet, this series of heads-up matches between Live at the Bike and the
final
circuit.
wager for us is that for each individual match, we're going to have a $500 bet. If in the unlikely event that the Live at the Bike hosts get very lucky and we're tied at the end, then we will have a single tournament played in tag team format with no, you don't have to do it at any set times. You can just tag in, tag out whenever you think the guy needs some help.
Well, I have a question. Can the non-player just tag in anytime he wants and then the player must get up? Is that what we're going to do?
No, I don't think it should be that, because then, you and I are just going to tag every hand.
I know, tag.
It's just going to get tiring. I think what it'll be is the player that's out can tag whenever he wants, and then the people will have 20 seconds to make a decision as to who comes back into place.
Agreed. That sounds good.
Agreed.
Yeah. So in 3-1, somebody wins 1,000. If it's tied, we go with that. We go with that format. It just because of that charity tournament. We'll let you guys know tomorrow if it's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday, or if we're going to film it earlier on Tuesday afternoon.
What do we say we go one step further?
I love Gavin. He always
one step further, and whoever wins the match will donate what they win to babyhannum.com.
Fine with me.
So in actuality, whoever wins the match,
you can only lose. You cannot win, actually, because we're going to give the money. We're going to give the money to Paul Hannum's fiance and unborn child.
Well, I got to tell you, I definitely agree with that, and it's going to put Tuckman on the spot because I can't speak for him, but he will really seem like the real douche if he says no to that.
Then he'll
Hey, you could lose your title, Bart.
All right, well, we appreciate you coming in, and as you guys did to me earlier today on Live at the Bike, I am kicking you out of our studio for Yosh Nakano, although you kicked me out for Phil Hellmuth. Either way, you're gone. Thanks for your input. We're going to take a commercial. When we get back, Yosh Nakano, High Limit host right here at the Bike on the circuit.
Right now.
A lot of things in life can be pretty boring, like being stuck in an elevator, sitting, not get selected to play in the IBC. Who did you represent, Joe?
I don't think I was. I think my invitation was lost in the mail, along with their poker invitation.
It's got to be a country, and the qualification was you were either born or reside in the country. And so, obviously, in this day and age, people are from everywhere. I mean, Tony G is a Lithuanian, but residing in Australia. And
who did he represent? Australia?
Yeah, Australia.
Okay.
And then Ralph Perry. I mean, he's pretty much American, although I guess he was born in Russia. Mm-hmm. Came over here when he was very young.
I'm glad that you mentioned a couple of names. I was going to say you were referring to the old school. What other players were you pitted against? What was the competition like in the field?
Well, you had some. You obviously have Doyle Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
The legendary Doyle Brunson, and then you have Daniel Negreanu from Canada, and Humberto.
So he probably knows all this stuff by heart, right? Yeah. So when are they going to start building the WPTs?
Tuesday morning.
For Wednesday night? Are you closing off the laptop section?
No, we're taking the middle section. It's going to be dead center in the whole.
Oh, it's going to be different from the Bastards.
They have a different set.
Oh, it wouldn't fit into the specified.
It's too much work for us to share.
So where does all the middle pieces?
I think they're putting that on this side of the set, and then the lower limits, if they spread them, they will be in the ballroom, or they won't spread them. Or they'll put them up on the mezzanine.
That's actually what Commerce did during the LA Poker Classic. They moved the lower limits up into the tournament.
We were going to do that too, but we decided not to. Because it would not set. Tuesday could be long.
Yeah, especially if we're doing that thing till at night, right? Because what time is that? No, but I mean, what time's the film start? Are we streaming it live? I mean, obviously the point is we're going to capture it, right? Too. Well, that's what I mean. But isn't that that's? I mean, what are the details of that event? What's the buy-in? Is there?
Buy-in.
Yeah.
They're playing for prizes.
They're not playing for cash.
But the first prize is a $25,000 seat to WPT main events.
How many people are you expecting?
60 to 100.
They needed 100 to make money.
Because then they can buy out
Right.
seats, and all the other stuff is donated by Paradise Poker.
And it's all going to Paul's. Also, all going to Paul's.
Actually, it's going to the baby.
Because they're really upset. It was sudden, huh? Yeah. Yeah.
Although I suddenly wasn't feeling well when he was with us in the last episode.
Kind of tired, you mean? What, he's usually pretty talkative and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like everyone knows him.
Yeah.
So you have like 25,000. Poker Stars events, up $10,000 Paradise Poker events. The seat invitational.
You had a seat invitational? Or
No,
you win a
that's the
seat?
fourth place, yeah.
Oh.
And then there's some other ones that
Did he have is the WPTE a public company? So did he have like yeah, all these people who were with him originally, they had stock options or they had pieces of them?
very few.
Really?
They weren't very
I thought they were the original. They weren't very generous. I thought they were the original stuff.
He was not an employee though. He is Steve Lipscomb's best friend.
Right.
So he was around and they hired him to be a photographer and whatnot.
Yeah.
But they weren't giving him a piece of their.
Well, who was it? It was just Steve and some other board members.
Audrey,
Oh.
Lyle.
lost 2/3 of the value. So you probably see. go into Party Poker and see how much. Do they have information on Mike Sexton?